Hello, rock stars. Welcome to another edition of In the Pit. I'm your host, Rick, and we are back at it. Oh, by the way, just because nobody else noticed, I have green hair today. Yeah, I woke up and I was just feeling kind of feisty. So let's welcome to the show. We have an incredible pair of guests, similar to last week, but different, like kind of the same, but not the same. Welcome to the show, Dālene and Chris from Super Trouper. How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm causing mayhem and havoc everywhere I go.
Category 5 hurricane.
Oh my God, that's not, I just found that again. That I'm getting that tattoo. I had a category 5. I'm destructive. I'm sorry. Thank y'all for making time to come in today. I'm excited. Chris, I don't really care about talking to you. I've talked to you before. So it'll be all about Dālene.
I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that. She's got a whole slew of things that she could talk about. She could do the whole interview by herself.
Oh, don't worry. You're getting it too. Yeah, I would not. We will be nice. I promise. I mean, I can't vouch for Chris, but I will be nice. Like,
I say that.
Oh my Lord. No, he's been on the show. Don't trust me. I've got some questions for Mr. Heavy Metal himself. He's getting blasted too. But I am going to dive in. It's your first time to come talk with us. Did they tell you to talk to your therapist before you came on the show?
No.
Man, I'm telling you, you're in trouble now. No,
and if you believe that, Rick, you're in trouble.
Oh, you did warn her. You did have her sign the disclosure. Yes, I love it. So the last interview I did, we had Mark and Hillary. Did I say that right? Because he's going to kill me.
Mark,
on the show. And you guys have a new project out, and I love this. It's an ABBA tribute called Super Trouper.
Yep.
Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
And my whole thought of doing this, I wanted to do it back to back, is to have because you guys are actually the pairs on stage, like the couples on stage. Mm-hmm. Correct? Okay.
Yes.
And that's a question I didn't ask last interview. And how did you guys decide who's pairing with who? Or did you guys like stick your names in a hat and we're drawing names?
No, it wasn't that simple, but I think it really worked out between Dālene and Hillary as far as what they wanted to do. And then actually, Mark plays keys and he already had a beard. So it just made sense that he was doing Benny. And since Bjorn didn't have a beard, it just made sense, and plays guitar most of the time. It just made sense that way.
So it wasn't really about vocal pairing. You guys didn't go, okay, well, they sing. Okay. That makes sense.
Most of ABBA, really, in my opinion, is the two girls. So they're going to do their thing together, and we're just going to, add into it where they did on the records.
Now, Dālene, I'm going to ask, is this is not the only project you're doing, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what else you're doing.
I have a Shania Twain tribute to Shania and a Big Little Town tribute to Little Big Town. And I'm in Fleetwood X with Lori and Lance and Andy and Randy and Tom. And let me think. Oh my goodness. I'm in Texanadian with Scott E., which is a duo and also a band. And am I missing anything? Oh, Heroes and Records, just like a country cover type thing. So, and then of course ABBA. So
that was a loaded question because just to draw it out of you, because I've announced all your bands at some point on the Concert Connection. So I already knew. That way you could talk about your bands. So making this jump, and I know that you are diversified in your musical styles. It's not like you're just doing one thing. But what made you, and I've been asked the same question because I'm in a number of bands and they're all different. What made you go, oh, I'm going to do some ABBA? Like, what was it that you're like, ooh?
I love ABBA. I've grown up with ABBA my whole life. I have so many wonderful memories as a child, and especially in the 70s, when they first came out and got really popular. And when Hillary asked me to do it, I just thought, oh my gosh, this would be amazing. I'd love to do it. I already know the words to all the songs, and I sing along with it anyway. So it just felt like a really cool thing to do. And also that it was a different genre from what I'm usually doing. So I had to branch out. And anytime I've entered into one of these tributes, I've had to study the music so much that I've learned so much. And it's just, I was so excited to do this, especially with these talented people. So you
didn't even miss a beat. You were just like, yes.
Yeah, I know. And I thought, I hope it will work out with the schedule because I've been asked to do some other ones too, and I just thought I can't take it on. I can't take it on. But I guess because of what this was, I just didn't feel like it was going to be a huge jump in learning because I already knew a lot of the songs.
So were you one of the folks that were in the theater that when when Mamma Mia came out that you were singing along with every song?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love that as well. But I mean, I even go back to the original time when the albums came out and everything, and so that's the beauty of it.
I totally remember that. Again, I'm older than Methuselah, and I remember when ABBA was on the radio and we would sing along. You know, and I have a disco love inside me. My wife always goes, "Really?" Because I'll put on Casey and the Sunshine Band, Earth, Wind and Fire. We were coming back. I just played with Wild Boys down at Austin City Limits Live, and on the trip back, I'm like ABBA's greatest hits, and Amy's like, "Really? You're listening to that driving home?" Like, yes, I am.
I love it. Yeah, I can listen to it over and over and over.
I told Hillary last week, I'm like, I should start a Bee Gees tribute. You know, then we can. Of course, everybody goes. You got to go see the New York Bee Gees. I see. You're like, yeah, and I'm like, they were just at Lava, I think, or so. Next time they come to town, I got to go check them out. Yeah, because I drive the bus. That's my dance move, and I don't know anything else.
It's really fun to dance to.
Disco is one of those, and ABBA was hugely influential in disco. I mean, they are one of the top. You say, name me some disco bands. If they're not in the top three, you probably didn't really listen to disco that much. I mean, seriously, you've got ABBA, you've got the Bee Gees, you've got Casey and the Sunshine Band. Those are probably the three that are coming right off the top of everybody's head. And there are a ton of great disco bands, but they were on the radio nonstop. Yep. What is your number one favorite song?
Mine? Let's see. Of ABBA songs, my goodness, I like so many of them. I don't know, gosh. I can't pick one. It's hard to pick. I guess Chiquitita has a dear meaning to me.
Okay.
So I would probably say that one.
I love the group. My favorite ABBA song is "Does Your Mother Know that You're Out?" Like
that is good. That Chris gets to sing it. So
yeah.
And that comes from being a drummer, and you know, it's got that groove, and you know, I start shaking my butt, and of course, my wife's like, "Really? You'll dance to that?" But I beg you to go. Yeah, I get myself in all kinds of trouble. Now, Chris, you are well known as a guitarist in the metal scene. How long did it take you to go, yeah, I think I'd like to try some ABBA? Or was it immediate, like, heck yeah?
It was pretty much immediate. You know, one of the things that I don't think a lot of people realize is how many albums ABBA sold. And if you go look that up, it's unbelievable. They're like number 2 or number 3 on the list of all time of selling albums. So, and
how many hits? How many hits they had?
I mean, you could play for 2 hours and fans of ABBA would know every song you're doing. Hillary and I had the idea initially, and she was like, would you dress up in those crazy costumes? And I'm like, of course. What do you think? I dress up in Blizzard of Oz? You know, I've got the beard, I got the wig, I got a kilt, you know, I got all that kind of stuff. How's this any different?
Dude,
so,
that is
it
awesome.
was fairly quick for me.
Did you have fun picking out the psychedelic, you know, like kind of the 70s disco clothes, or were you just
we all had a nice powwow about, you know, what we wanted to do. So,
and did you have the clothes made, or did you guys go to like thrift stores?
Oh no. We were having our costumes professionally made.
Nice. Okay, I love it. And the only reason I ask that is because I'm a thrift store junkie, and I find I'm bad. I will go and I find more. Please don't laugh at me. I find more stage clothes in the women's section than I do in the men's section.
That's why you have green hair, Ric.
That's me. You know what? To me, fabric's fabric. I don't care. I mean, I know people get hung up on stuff. I don't care. I'll wear it. Put me in a dress. I'll get on stage. I don't care. But that is a big part of ABBA. Like, they had that look. It was a very iconic look. So for you guys to put this all together, I'm sure you guys have spent arduous amount of time going, okay, getting the details hammered out. And I will say, as I said to Hillary, I don't want you to disclose any details that may give away the show before you have the show on stage. So at any point you can go, yeah, I'm taking the 5th. but
Okay.
I mean,
we will.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I mean, all the way down to the shoes. You guys really did. You're having everything done like full tilt.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Hillary's daughter, Aria, is a big part of it as far as the design of the costumes. And she's an artist, and she's taken it to an incredible level because she's sort of modernized it with still a retro feel. So
Nice.
it's really interesting. I'm excited.
Now, you guys, y'all's first show is in August. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, August 31st at Legacy Hall.
Legacy Hall. I knew that we talked about it, and I'm sorry, I've got a gerbil on a running wheel. Some things go in and out really fast. And I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna try to come to that show. And what I realized, don't laugh, I'm on vacation and I fly back into town that night. So depending on when my flight comes in, I'd like to MC the show. I told Hillary I'd like to come announce you guys, but I may be coming straight from the airport in the back door at Legacy so I can get up on stage and announce you guys.
Are you coming from a beach in Mexico?
No, not this time. This time I'm coming from 9 days in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
still coming from a beach.
You said Mexico. You didn't say Florida. Like that.
Technically, you're right. Yeah.
Anyone who knows me a little bit knows I am a beach junkie. I'm sorry. It's one of those things that I can never get enough sun.
Or tequila.
Tequila's it's a weakness. Our son is down in Florida, so yeah, it's the opportunity, and we don't even know if he's going to be there because he's a yachty. He works on private yachts. He may be, who knows, Virgin Islands for all I know. Yeah. We may not even see him. So, let's talk about the band. You guys have a band behind you. So, I mean, are you going to supplement that with tracks, or are you going to keep it all organic, or a hybrid, or you don't want to disclose?
We're so lucky to have some amazing musicians that are going to be backing us. And we've got Scotty on the drums, which is a new thing that you might not have seen him do, but that's his actually first instrument.
Nice.
Jay Spence on the guitar. If you know Jay from the Stoneleys and BLT, all of the different projects he has. And then Pete Miller on the bass, who's they're all just stellar musicians. Merrick has this talent, and he's actually a electronic music composer. If you go to americanetti.com, you can see all of the electronic music that he's composed himself, and he's going to be creating that live on stage with some of the pieces that we've recorded in the studio prior as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I am actually hoping that you guys, when you put it together, that there's a huge demand, because I'm seeing other bands go nationwide, that you guys end up taking this nationwide and just run with it. I'm truly, fingers crossed, doing my little dance, hoping you guys take off, because again, ABBA is one of those, for most people, it's either you love them or you hate them. I grew up on them. I love them. I'm hoping that there's some good bands you guys can pair with to open for you, because I'm assuming you guys are going to have a 2-hour show that, I mean, you guys are going to be coming out the gate as a headlining band, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. Have you guys thought of some of the bigger festivals as well?
Not yet. I think we're just trying to focus on August 31st right now. The first show is always going to be the hardest. So you're trying to put, this is going to be a massive production thing, not just the music and the costumes, but there's all kinds of production that's going to go with it as well. So it's going to be a big undertaking. So we're just trying to focus on that first. And then once we get that first show under our belt, then we'll start looking at going.
It's funny you said that, because that's what Hillary said. And I don't think people realize that it's going to be, to put a show of this stature on stage. I mean, you've got a lot of moving parts. You've got a lot of musicians, and you've got 4 vocalists, which that in its own right, nothing else, just having the 4 vocalists up front, harmonizing. I'm sure you guys spend a ton of hours. Has it been a smooth transition, or has there been a slight learning curve?
I'll let you handle that one, Dālene.
Okay. Well, I have to say, Chris and Hillary are amazing band leaders, as far as they're both so talented and really have taken it and directed it. And they had, we rehearsed yesterday for 4 or 5 hours, and they had it all planned out, and they said, we're going to take this much time on this song, we're going to go back and do this. So I appreciate that so much, because it's not, we're really using our time wisely, and it's coming together beautifully. For me, I think it's been surprising that certain things I thought would be so simple There's, of course, this I underestimate, but it was little things that just like the background part on Take a Chance, like that.
Take a chance. Yeah.
Yes, that.
It's with you think let's just do that in the background, but that has to be exact.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something like that has taken more time than I thought it would, but we'll get it together. It's just that I thought that's easy, and of course it's not. Not as easy as I thought.
One of the things that really impressed me is that y'all are not rushing this to market at all. And when I'm in the number one crush, which is a garbage tribute, and we took about 8-9 months of just studio before we played our first show. And I know when you say that's that first show, like, oh my Lord, getting the first show under your belt, but I think there's something to be said about not being in a hurry to get on stage. And especially when those of us that are in multiple bands, and I'm in 4 or 5 right now, and not being in a rush, like, oh my God, we got to have it on stage next week because somebody may take our idea. It was, we're going to do this our way. And we want to see our vision fulfilled instead of, bring it to fruition, as opposed to, let's just throw something together and get up there. Have you guys had any problems pulling back on the reins, going, slow down, calm down? Like, I know you guys have got to be excited to get up there, but have you guys been like, no, we're not accepting anything before August. Like, we'll take stuff afterwards, but this patience, young grasshoppers. Have you guys had any of those moments?
Oh yeah. Passed on some good opportunities, including the 4th, but not quite there yet to go and say, we're going to do this, and come out without it being where we want it to be. So I think August 31st is enough time. I'm a little worried about the weather outside in Dallas.
Y'all might die. I'm just saying, it's gonna be hot. No, but I truly applaud y'all. That is having that kind of patience and dedication to getting it right is huge, because we've all seen there's a ton of bands out there, tribute bands, and some just throw it together, and they're all talented musicians, and then some take the extra time and really look at the fine points and get the fine details right. And you guys, I'm telling you, I'm excited to see y'all get on stage. I'm excited to see the band behind you doing this. And as I'm scared to dance in public. And my wife's like, you're a drummer, you got great rhythm. And when I don't have my force field in front of me, I'm like, yeah, I don't ask me why. I have no clue, but I'll probably be shaking my butt at your show because I'm like,
yeah. Hey, Dālene,
go ahead.
We'll know it's a success if Ric's out front dancing.
Oh.
That's true.
Don't gauge it by me because I may not have tequila. Like,
we'll wait for it.
Oh my Lord. I will tell you guys, this is again, having y'all come on and doing a 2-part. I was excited. Is there anything that you think that you want the audience to know about this beforehand that maybe we haven't touched on?
I think just what was so beautiful to me is that each of us really have an ABBA love and story behind it. And oh my goodness, Hillary is such a fan, and you should hear her sing this stuff. She is an opera trained singer, and she just sounds so beautiful. And her vision with the whole thing is incredible. So it's definitely worth coming to see. Do you lead any of your bands, or are you just the vocalist, or do you actually run the show on any of your projects? I have the ideas for a lot of them. I guess I work very collaboratively, and Scott E is my band leader for Shania and Big Little Town, which I'm so grateful for, just to have that handled, and then I can focus on performing.
Yeah.
And so I really take that aspect of it.
It takes, as Basket Case, I kind of run the show. It's kind of my band, but I'm in so many other bands, and I always take the approach as a chief that has to be a really good Indian. So I do what I can to help the band leaders succeed, set them up for success. And that's difficult, because everybody's got their ideas and, they want to input, and it can ruffle feathers. Trust me, I've had my feathers ruffled. I get it, but you have to keep your eye on the prize, the bigger picture. And do you guys, when you get together and have brainstorming, do y'all have a lot of those? And I'm assuming you do have a lot of those aha moments, like, that's a great idea. Holy, I wouldn't have thought of that. Or are you guys all just pretty much same page?
Well, I think I think we have, you know, everybody's going to bring their ideas to it, but I think we kind of talk it out and say, okay, well, you know, are we going to be able to do that for this first show? Maybe not, because we've got so much going on already for the first show. We may have to reserve that for a later show. But yeah, everybody's got good ideas, so we're going to always try to entertain those. And if it makes sense, I think we'll do them.
Are you? Go ahead.
I just like where certain things where it's very important to someone. Like yesterday, there was one song that Mark was saying, we are doing this song. So it's like, okay, we can do it. Like if there's something that is really important to someone, then it's going to happen. And Chris had this amazing vision for all the stage stuff, and so he's just like, it's going to happen. So it sounds like a lot, but he's got that headed up. So
I am very excited for y'all. Like I said, I'm looking forward to this just because I think most people, if they're willing to admit it, most of us grew up on ABBA, have that ABBA, you know, like I said, I was road tripping with it, and it was before. I've had that album for a while. It's not like I downloaded it because I interviewed Hillary, and I have that album, and it's one of my secret little, you know, and it's almost like you have made it okay to come out of the proverbial ABBA closet and be like, yes, I love ABBA too, you know. And
well, I'm gonna have a little fun right here.
Here we go.
Whenever I first started talking about this project, before we even got rolling with it, I talked to John Inman from Def Leppard. He and I are really close. We talk on the phone all the time. And I mentioned to him, I said, what would you think about someone doing an ABBA tribute? And he goes, well, let me tell you this. When I was younger, I bought ABBA's greatest hits on cassette, and I wore that thing out. I ended up having to buy like 2 or 3 of them. So if that tells you anything about what my opinion is, then he says, yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
You know, though, that is such a great point because, like I said, I'm an ABBA fan, and as a drummer, so many of those beats, and I'm going to reference Dave Grohl on this. You know, he talks about, you know, Teen Spirit, how, you know, he ripped that beat off of, you know, some of the early disco bands, you know, and it's like a lot of those beats, though, you can feel them in so many styles of music. And yeah, they're money beats, but they're great. They're infectious. So it's, again, influenced everybody in some little way. It's, you know, it's permeated the fabric of society, and it's again, I'm excited that y'all are putting it on stage. So I have a million questions, and I'm kind of dancing right now because there's things I want to ask, but I know not to ask because I know it will divulge things that need to wait. So I'm going to ask y'all, will you, after you've had your first show and it's in public consumption, will you guys come back and do this again?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Because
we'll
whole
talk
different
about all
set
the
of questions.
stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about all the behind the scenes stuff.
I don't need to know what happened in the green room, but we can go into the production and some of the show. And again, there's a lot of questions, and I had the same problem when I had Hillary and Mark on. That like I want to ask that, but I know better, and I'm leaving it alone right now. Thank you guys for giving us your time and using this platform to, again, get the awareness out there and the word out that you guys have a show coming. I'll let you guys can play paper, rock, scissors for it. Let's plug the show one more time because it's not that far away, believe it or not. It's going to be here in a minute.
True. You can do it, Chris.
Okay. Super Trouper is going to be at our first show is going to debut at Legacy Hall on Saturday, August 31st. It's a 2-hour show. It's just us, so you'll get 2 hours worth of ABBA. I think we've got like 25 or 26 songs that we're doing, and so I mean, there's going to be lots of surprises. It isn't just music. There's a whole stage show production. There's a video presentation part as well. So it's not just going to be, you know, 4 people on stage singing someone else's music. It's going to be completely done.
This is going to be larger than life. This is going to be huge. So again, that's August 30th, Legacy Hall, Super Trouper. Come out and celebrate ABBA. It's going to be a fun night of music and dancing. I'm looking forward to it. Again, thank you all for making time for me and letting me be the one to kind of interview you and get you, you know, in front of everybody to do this. I am looking forward to having you guys back because there's questions that I may have all four of you. We may do it live so I can have all four of you together. And then I can ask all the real questions that I have to like put tape over my mouth and not ask. Oh my Lord, Chris, thank you for coming. Dālene, thank you for being first time on the show. Can I drag you back at some point to talk about your other bands?
Sure. Thank you so much.
It's, you know, as a musician who, you know, I do Green Day, I do Garbage. I'm now the drummer for In Texas, which is In Excess, that a lot of people don't know. I do Duran Duran, and I'm playing with Empires. So it's, I am literally, I get it. And from a musician's point of view, I love talking with other musicians, and that's why I like to interview folks. Sometimes it's just about music. Sometimes we talk about, like, I keep watching, Dālene, your dogs running around the pool. I'm just going to let you know, I've seen them go back and forth, and I'm waiting for them to stop and like do that photo bomb moment. And
they would like to come on your show.
You're like, why is Ric halfway paying attention? I'm like, because the dogs are going to jump in the pool in any second, and I'm waiting for it. But no, I love the fact that you guys again made time for me. So thank you so much. I will definitely have you all back on.
Thank you for having us.
Great.
It's so nice to get to talk to you.
Thank you. And for those of you who are tuning in the first time, thank you very much. I appreciate it. For those of you who are returning, I hope that you had some psychological counseling before you came in, because I'm sure that I'm a squirrel. So ADD. We see squirrels everywhere. It's so difficult. I'm sorry. If you're new to the show, though, please go to and check out all our online sources. You can catch them here. You can follow us on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We've got a Roku channel. We have an Amazon Fire channel. Again, incredible interview. Thank you for hanging out with us. You can catch Super Trouper August 31st at Legacy Hall. Come celebrate the music of ABBA. It's going to be there for sure. It's going to be incredible. Don't miss it. Chris, Dālene, thank you all for being my guests. I look forward to seeing y'all on stage soon. And y'all, you can hang out somewhere with all your friends in the pit.